Hello, welcome to my end of year reflection on my CAS. This is my creativity reflection. So my creativity, to summarize it, was cooking vegetarian food for my family. I thought that this was important because at some point I'll need to learn to cook for myself and I won't be able to rely on other people. And being able to continue being vegetarian is something that's important for me. So therefore developing different vegetarian recipes that I can use for myself is something that is important to me. And so, what in particular did I notice about my own strengths and area growths? Um, I particularly noticed that I'm able to adapt recipes to what I like. For example, if there's an ingredient that I might not like in a recipe, I've learned to adapt it and change it slightly so that I'm able to enjoy the recipe more. Or if I don't have a particular uh, tool that's used in the recipe, I'm able to change the recipe a little bit, tweak it so I can continue cooking at home and having my own recipes. Um, what was challenging since the last reflection, it was being able to make sure I'm able to have all the cooking experience I have, for example, because sometimes it's kind of hard when I have other stuff going on to be able to uh, cook, to be able to work on cooking and on finding recipes. It takes time that I would otherwise use for other classes, so being able to manage my time properly is something that I struggled with. Um, so I've found out ways to be able to prepare for this, and the main way I was able to prepare for this was being able to find recipes that I enjoy. Because I've been doing this a lot more recipes have been coming up on my feed, on my YouTube feed, on my Instagram, and so I can find stuff that I'm into and then do a little bit of research, and that goes a long way. And then I can manage with my dad, who does the shopping for the family. I can manage things that I might need that we might not have at home, and then we can like work out how I'm able to do these types of things. So I've so as I said, I've worked with my dad multiple times on this on this creativity process, and but most of it is a lot of self-work, being able to research, find recipes, and actually cook them. I usually cook by myself. Sometimes if I'm struggling, my dad has experience cooking, and so he can help me out in some places, and so that's really helpful. Um, so I've met my learning targets here in this creativity process. Um, and I think it's this whole thing of cooking vegetarian food has gone a lot better than I expected it to go. I expected it to be a lot harder to find recipes, but the more I've been doing it, the easier it's been coming along, and there's been multiple things I wanted to try out and that I've been able to. And so it was a lot easier than I thought it would be, and a lot more fun than I thought it was gonna be. So I'm glad I'm able to cook for myself some vegetarian food, and actually I can also show other people some neat vegetarian recipes that could replace the meat substance. And it's a fun way to show people that yeah, it's nice, and you know, I like it, and so I don't have to rely on other people, because that can sometimes be a bit overbearing. um yeah so I yeah um I I feel as though this creativity process has really helped me open my eyes to the things I need to be able to do in when I'm the things I need to be able to do when I leave my home, the comfort of my home, when I go to university, the different things I can buy and the different techniques I can use, these little intangible things that I learned before heading out, and it's really neat and important for me to be able to do that. And so I think the main new skill that I've been able to develop through this is those little things, that the little things that you can't really account for, like knowing for example, knowing what's the best way to cook something, knowing the outcome. something would have if I cook it in a certain way. For example, if I was to grill mushrooms on a pan or grill them, like the different types of pans, like cast iron, non-stick, different oils I can use with that, and how that might affect the flavor and the texture and the outcome of what I'm cooking, is something that I developed throughout this creativity process, and that's helped me greatly in being able to be aware of what I'm cooking and how I'm cooking it, and is that I would say is the main new skill um, that I've been able to develop. So if I was to redo this activity, what would I do differently? I think the main thing that I'll do differently if I was to redo this activity was to focus more on a certain type of food. I know I focused on vegetarian cooking, but I think what would be nice would be really delve deep into one type of food. For example, I could look at specifically uh, things that I can eat. I don't know, things, barbecue foods, or specifically uh, party foods or smoothies would be something really nice. And I think specializing what I would do a lot more would help me um, work a lot better and more cohesively, and would also be if I was to solely work on smoothies or milkshakes, it would help me develop um, my work a lot better, and it would be a lot smoother and a lot better to just work that way. And so yeah, what do I still not know? I think there's a lot of things I still don't know, especially in the fact that I've broadened this thing to all vegetarian food. It kind of leaves a lot of different places and a lot of different things that I don't know. I think if I was to go out to university now and not in a year, I wouldn't know how to schedule a whole week's planned food and where to get all the food. I think I'd repeat a lot of recipes, and I'd learn from this and I'll develop that. But that's something at this moment that I don't know. I have a few recipes that I could do, but that's something at this moment that I don't know. Other avenues that I can explore, I'd say that the main thing that I could explore would to, as I said, go deeper into certain things, and also like continue this research on like vegetarian foods that I could use later on. But also, if I'm able to delve deep onto a specific food item, I've had ideas of what I could do in those circumstances. For example, if I was to delve deep into chocolate and look at from savory recipes of chocolate to very sweet recipes to hot chocolates, cakes, different things. And I think it would be very interesting to just target like that. And so this I think this whole experience has been very beneficial and has sparked my curiosity in cooking. I've never really been interested in cooking because I've never had to do it, but this has really helped me understand it and be curious about it, which is really cool and really nice.